Ready? Babylon is out in theaters right now, and is it a good movie? Should you go out and see it? No, it's not a good movie. And no, you shouldn't waste your money to go see it. Babylon, let's talk about it. Let's go over to the IMDb and take a look at it because it stars Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. It says here, the synopsis reads, a tale of outsized ambition and outrageous excess. It traces the rise and fall of multiple characters during an era of unbridled decadence and depravity in early Hollywood. Directed by Damien Chazelle. Now, as I said, that yes, Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie are loosely, sort of the main characters. This movie doesn't really have a narrative structure where you follow one character through. And in fact, thinking upon it, it doesn't really have any kind of arc for these characters either. They don't start off believing one thing. Well, I guess Brad Pitt sort of does. But he's not really the main character. It's just kind of like a bunch of scenes that happen, and it's supposed to be about this love letter to Hollywood from when they went from silent films to talking films, and it's 3 hours and 9 minutes long, guys. It's 3 hours, and that's abysmal. It should never have been even close to 3 hours and 9 minutes. This is one of those movies that has about like a half an hour opening scene, which is just that party sequence that we've seen in the trailers. That's it. And then like half an hour in, it says Babylon. Now, I've seen movies that have long opening sequences. RRR had one that was a rather long sequence. But that movie had a narrative structure. That movie was setting stuff up. That party scene doesn't really set that much up for what the rest of the movie is about. It's just a bunch of people partying, being naked and being drunk and being stupid. The movie starts off with an elephant pooping all over the place, all over people. And it's kind of like, this is the opening scene, right? You're showing an elephant defecate as your opening scene here. This is supposed to wow me and win me over, man. And you're showing an elephant take a dump all over the place. And that's what exactly Babylon is. It's perfectly metaphorical, Damien Chazelle, if that's what you were trying to do. If you're trying to show that this movie it's just a big piece of turd, job well done. In fact, we could have rolled credits right after that scene, and we would have saved a bunch of us 2 hours and 45 minutes of our lives that we'll never get back. Babylon, guys, there are things in here that are like, okay, well, if we started to cut this out and we did this, then like I was thinking towards around 2 hours and 30 minutes, I was like, well, maybe if we wrap this up a little bit, if we took that part out, if we edited this part out, and it could be saved. And there's parts in here that are okay to look at. There's some scenes in here like Brad Pitt has with an aging, I think it was Jean Smart, right? She's like a reporter. There's a good scene in there, yeah, where he's like, his career has run its course kind of thing, right? And him and her have this really great conversation, but it doesn't really affect the rest of the movie's characters. It has no bearing on Diego Calva or Margot Robbie's character. It has no bearing. It's just kind of like, well, yeah, he was in the silent films and he didn't transition very well over to the talkies because he's not a good actor. That's it. Brad Pitt's a good actor, but the character that he was playing was not a good actor. People were laughing at him reading the dialogue. Guys, there's such a better movie out there this year that did this kind of material and did it way better. We'll talk about that later on here. But this just, I think it was about an hour and 20 minutes into this film. Let me pull up the screenshots here. It was about an hour and 25 minutes into this film. And they came up to a scene where I was like, that's what this movie should have started off with. That was the opening scene of this movie. Basically, the Diego Calva character hangs around with Brad Pitt in the beginning, and then he just becomes a producer. And yeah, he goes to the party stuff and like all that. He gets pooped on and whatever. But there's a scene where they first start to try making movies with sound, and it's kind of like the sound engineer is high on his horse. He thinks that he's like the top dog there, and they did that kind of stuff in that other movie that I'm going to talk about, Downton Abbey 2. That they did it so much better in that movie. This movie should have started off with that scene, with Margot Robbie trying to shoot this scene with sound, because it was just showing all the frustrations of trying to make it work. Like it was a learning process for them, right? They didn't know that you had to be quiet. They didn't know that the cameras made noise and stuff like that. If you didn't know all that stuff, you wouldn't really understand that. And that's where they should have started off, to let us know that this is what the backbone of what this movie was going to be about. But it's not really all about that, because at one point, this character here, yeah, he becomes a producer and stuff, and he tries to make Margot Robbie into a star. But it's kind of like he loves her, or doesn't he love her? She disappears for a while and then kind of shows up later, and that's got this big, huge event, this crisis event, but you don't really care. You don't really care that she's like, you don't see her have this crisis event. She just shows up and it just happens. Oh, and Tobey Maguire, complete waste. This is one of the sequences that could have been cut out from this film, because it didn't really do anything other than show that, oh yeah, Damien Chazelle knows something about the darker side of Hollywood. Yeah, okay. What does that have to do with the rest of the movie? I'm a proponent of somebody who says that you show us something for a purpose. You show us that this either is going to set up something or it has to mean something. And then you just get a bunch of things like this in here where it's like, okay, well, what does this mean? Why are you showing us this? Why? And that's what I felt about the first hour of this movie, where they're just partying. And it's kind of like, why? Yeah, we know that it's depraved. Why does this scene have to carry on for like 45 minutes, right? And I guess it was supposed to be intoxicating in the sense that, oh, this is what Hollywood's supposed to be about. This is what it was. It was so romantic. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, guys. It was terrible. And in fact, the movie itself tries to make that point, that it was not that glamorous. The one thing it did do, though, was Flea was in this, and it was kind of like, we just saw Flea in, what was it, Obi-Wan this year, right? I want to see more of Flea. I want to see more acting from Flea, because he's good. He's got a presence to him. He definitely does. I don't even know who the heck this character. Okay, that's Diego Calva. People say that he was a good performance in it. Not really. That's all he does. Then Chazelle likes to film him doing that too. It's kind of like he's looking at Margot Robbie. It's kind of like, get out of here with that. And how many times can we zoom in on a Trump? God, get out of here, Damien Chazelle. You're. It's a tired bag of old tricks, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Nellie Leroy was her character. It was kind of like, yeah, Margot Robbie. I'm sorry, Margot. I don't know what you're doing. Why would you take this role? Like, there's a scene in here where she demonstrates that she can cry on command. Okay, that was an interesting scene. Are you telling me there's nothing like that in any other scripts that come along that tickle your fancy? This is what makes you go, hey, I want to be in this film? No, it's and her story just ends. It's like you don't even care about it. It's kind of like one of those party people that just won't go away at the end of the night. It's kind of like, get away from me. Get away from me. I don't want to even, I'm sorry that you got yourself into this mess, but hey, I'm going home. You have at it now. Get out of here, kind of thing. And it's not in a good way. Not in a good way, like you're rooting for her to sober up tomorrow kind of thing. It's kind of like, I don't care, because I don't really care about you as a character. The movie never does a lot to establish why you should like these people or why you should be rooting for these people, other than the actors that are playing them. All right, I bragged on about that for a while here. I just want to take a look at Damien Chazelle's IMDb here, because he did win an award, right, for La La Land and Whiplash. Not a writer. I want director. Where's the directing credits? James, let's figure out where he's going on. What's going on here with this guy? Okay, he did First Man, he did La La Land and Whiplash. Yeah, stick with it, man. Stick with La La Land stuff. I liked First Man. Whiplash, I liked. But Babylon, no. And you try to say that, is it a tribute to the music of the era too? Not really. It really has not much to do with it. It's kind of like a side story that happens with one of the characters that you don't really like. Again, it's meaningless. The Sidney Palmer guy, Jovan Adepo, who's not that good of an actor. Like there's a heartbreaking scene where he's got to put shoe polish on his face or something like that, but the movie never dwells on it. It doesn't dwell. Let's go over to the Rotten Tomatoes and see what people are saying about this, because I'm getting enough of this. 55% by the critics there, 50 by the audience. So, guys, there was only 2 other people in my theater when I went to see this. 2. So there's 3 people that went out to see this movie. And this is supposed to be a love letter to movies. And the point that is saying that people just don't want to go out and see certain things, that's a narrative that comes up in the movie, that people don't want to go out and see this. People don't want to see an actor that's not bringing in the bucks, like Brad Pitt's character. And the movie's trying to make a point about that. And this movie is exactly the kind of thing that people don't want to go see. They don't want to go see Margot Robbie or Brad Pitt in being stupid. Brad Pitt, I was thinking, God, where is World War Z 2? That's what I want to see. Brad Pitt, what are you doing, man? Yeah, 55%, 50 by the audience. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. Inside Hook says, under Chazelle's bruised showman sensibility, to love something means honestly seeing all the ways in which it is broken and still hearing violins when you look at it anyway. What? Man, I don't like that. One of the year's richest and most ambitious films. I can't agree with that. Is that the only film that you saw, Wall Street Journal? Get out of here with that nonsense. CNN says, okay, this is a bad one. Despite a stellar cast and showy moments, given who's involved, how could there not be? The writer-director's sprawling, messy 3-hour plus endurance test isn't ready for its close-up. No, it's not. This should never have been a theatrical release, this movie. This is something that you see on cable. Not even on cable, because it should be like on HBO Max. This is a movie that should have gone straight to streaming. There he is, right there. Babylon should have gone straight to streaming. Not even a chance in the theaters, because box office wise, it's not going to make its money back. Looking at last weekend's box office, I know tomorrow's numbers are not out yet, but because it's Saturday, guys. But last weekend, its opening weekend, it made 3.6, 3.6, right? Now it's got 7.4. So it's going to probably make, guys, if I was there's 3 people in my theater, for crying out loud. Maybe it makes 8.5 this weekend, 8.5. I don't know how much more it's going to get internationally, because it's got a lot of nudity in it. It's got a lot of gratuitous nudity. It's kind of like you're showing us naked people having relations. How does that serve the story, right? It doesn't. It's just, ooh, Damien Chazelle, you pulled a fast one. You showed us some naked butts. Terrible. 7.4 there. So I think maybe 8.5 by the end of this weekend. And then, because Avatar's steamrolling it, right? Avatar's steamrolling the box office right now. Yeah, it's like 1.1 billion worldwide. What was the box office for Babylon? Let's say 80 million. 80 million on an 8.5 haul. It's supposed to be a love letter to Hollywood, and it didn't hit its mark. There you go. It missed. It was a complete miss. This movie should never have been made for the price that it was. This movie should have been made for $1 million. But then people say, well, you couldn't have Brad Pitt, you couldn't have Margot Robbie in it. Well, then get other actors to do it, because you don't need Brad Pitt or Margot Robbie to do this role. They never brought anything magical to it. And stuff that's shown in the trailer isn't in the movie, like Brad Pitt dancing on top of that thing, on top of that table, and then falling over the balcony. That's not in the movie. That's not in the movie. That's yeah. Again, it's just people being dumb. Yeah, he just falls over, hits this, and then falls into the pool. he's just up there talking, and it's like they tried to reverse course on how stupid this movie was, like with the party people and stuff, with the party. But guys, as I said, there was a movie that did it better this year, in every single way. That talking about love letters to Hollywood and stuff, and that movie was.
He's a producer and director.
He wants to make a film at Downton.
A moving picture.
Yeah,
At Downton.
this movie, and it was charming. It was very charming. You know why? Because they went through the same kind of stuff where, yeah, they were trying to film a movie at the Downton Abbey, and they went through the same kind of thing where the sound man was having like God issues, God complex issues, and they had to do carefully craft a story around this new narrative of changing a silent film into a talking film. And it's kind of fun. It was charming because one of the actresses has to start voice acting because one of the actresses isn't a good actor. So it's really just, I want to go back now and I want to watch Downton Abbey: A New Era because it's just so much better handled, and you never suspected it from this type of movie, right? Downton Abbey was like, well, what? But yes, this movie is more about silent films transforming into talking films than Babylon ever was or ever will be. Babylon, a complete miss, one of the worst movies of the year, hands down. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. I don't want to hear any awards, accolades whatsoever for Babylon. Not for acting. People say that Diego Calva, maybe. But as I said, no, it's just close-ups. And you don't really, why are you rooting for him? And then he gets involved in that stupid mess at the end. And it's kind of like, why? And it's not even about music either, guys. It's not about the music of the era either. Like, it tries to be in the beginning with this kind of character, but it just, no. it's not. It just kind of like, she gets literally fired. Frustrating. Guys, Babylon is easily a 3 out of 10 for me. A 3 out of 10 for Babylon. Don't go see it. Don't waste your money on it. I can't endorse it any more than that. Oh, all right. Let me just reset here. Let me reset here and get underway with the next review that I want to do. All right, so I'm going to go to my post. All right, Arglass Vikings in the live chat says, I say the trailer for Babylon kind of reeled me in. I like Golden Age of Cinema. Sorry that this doesn't pay homage to it. No, it really doesn't. It's a bummer. It's a letdown. It truly is. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't want to say anything more about it. But I forced myself to go out and see it because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to put it on the worst list of the year, or if I am going to put it on the worst list of the year, but I wanted to. I was hoping that it would win me over, but it didn't. It didn't. All right, where are we at here? All right. Let's get into this one. Babylon, not Babylon. White Noise. Let's do it up. Let's give us some interesting music. Yeah. White Noise is on Netflix right now, and it stars Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig and Don Cheadle. And, well, the synopsis reads here, dramatizes contemporary American families' attempts to deal with the mundane conflicts of everyday life while grappling with the universal mysteries of love, death, and the possibility of happiness in an uncertain world. Well, that is a word salad, and that doesn't mean a whole lot. And this movie doesn't mean a whole lot, because when you sit down and you look at White Noise, it's just a bunch of scenes, a bunch of dialogue of opinions about certain situations that happen in life. It starts off as kind of like a calamity kind of thing where, yeah, there's like this train derailment that kind of causes like a toxic event, I believe they call it. I thought the movie was mostly about that, and it was going to be kind of like a black comedy kind of thing, but it's not. It's just a bunch of scenes of people talking and spouting off stuff about Hitler, and it's kind of like, what the heck is this movie about? And it goes on. It goes on for 2 hours and 16 minutes. It's like, my God, here. And then this movie has such a bizarre ending to it. It's kind of like the last 30 minutes of it are like, were we building towards this? Was this what we were going towards? And it just kind of leaves you going... I was going to do a live watch-along to this, and I was kind of like, thank God I didn't, because I would have been just kind of like... pulling. It was like, towards the end, it was like pulling teeth. And I liked Adam Driver in this, and it put Greta Gerwig on the map for me as an actor, because I really liked her in this movie. And Greta Gerwig is going to be directing the Barbie movie next year with Margot Robbie. But what the heck was Don Cheadle doing in this movie? He's just there talking about Elvis. You kind of get the idea that you're not supposed to be taking all of this seriously. But then you get lost in these 5-minute long conversations, diatribes of kind of like, are you taking these pills or are you not taking these pills? Are you afraid of death? Oh, I'm afraid of death. And it's kind of like, oh, I spent 2 minutes outside of a car filling a gas tank. Maybe I got infected. It's got, what? And it just carries on like that for 2 hours and 16 minutes. Kind of like, but James, you're not understanding the nuance of the film. No, I understand the nuance of the film. It's just kind of like, you're not going full force, full tilt with it. And then for some reason, you change course not once, but twice. Because it started off as something about this cataclysmic event that's supposed to happen. But then it's kind of like, you forget about it halfway through, and it's kind of like, well, the movie's not really about that anymore. It's kind of like about infidelity, sort of, maybe. And then one of the characters, Adam Driver, does something that's not in character. He would not have done it. He would just, what? White Noise, guys. I can't recommend it on Netflix. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. 63% by the critics, 44% by the audience. There were a couple of times in this where I was looking at Adam Driver and I was like, it was such a wasted opportunity that he was Kylo Ren. Such a wasted opportunity. He's such a talented actor. And at least in this, that does shine. He does shine through in this. So does Greta Gerwig. I really like Greta Gerwig in this. She was good. And yeah, you get the impression that these people, like, he's a college professor, but you kind of get the impression that the college is a farce. You know, it's not a real, it's like where you go, like, you remember that Simpsons episode where it's kind of like, it's where you go to peel an orange. It's where you go to chew tobacco. It's kind of like, it's that kind of college. But the professors take themselves so seriously there, like Don Cheadle and Adam Driver. It's kind of like, are they really subject matter experts on their fields? Are they really? But the movie doesn't really explore that too much. It just kind of like, it's just there. It's just there. That's what I'm going to say. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews from Rolling Stone. Says, Baumbach overreaches in White Noise. The movie is unsuccessful because its various energies eventually begin to feel mismeasured. Exactly. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't have focus. This material needed to be in the hands of a better director. Yeah, that's what I would say. The result is a movie so faithful to the original work that it comes very close to not working. No, sorry, Vox. It doesn't work. Baumbach's pandemic-inspired undertones resonate on that level, but it's played in such stilted fashion as to make White Noise pretty easy to tune out. CNN.com. Yeah, guys, it's long. Other than the acting performances from Greta Gerwig and Adam Driver, the kids all are unbelievable. You don't believe any of the kids in here because they're kind of like, I know more about the situation than the adults. It's kind of like, okay. I'm not buying it. And I think it has to do with the direction. Yeah, I wanted it to be all about kind of like a doomsday scenario. This family's got to stay together. They're eccentric. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But it just didn't work. And it sucks because, as I said, it put Greta Gerwig on the map for me as an actress. I want to see more work from her. But then that, in the end, it's kind of like Adam Driver does, like, what? What? Why is he doing that? And it just kind of like, no, it didn't work. And if it was based off a book and the book was like that, I'm sorry, guys. If that's what your thing was, for me, it just wasn't. White Noise, guys, I got to give it a 4 out of 10. It sucks. It's terrible. I'm sorry. Hey, if you're watching it on Netflix, make sure you watch it on the laptop because you can use that fast forward, not the fast forward, but you can do the 1.5 speed. Watch it in that because you don't want to watch, like, there's a sequence where they're driving a car through the woods and it lands in the river and you're kind of like, to go over a waterfall. Please, end this. Get this. End this. And at least it'll have a resounding impact that the whole family died. But, I mean, it doesn't end like that. And it just continues on. And it goes into this weird place about drugs. And is she cheating on him? Does she want to cheat on him? Is she it's just not a good way to end out the year for movies, guys. I'm a little disheartened, to tell you the truth. But, yeah, that's what I think about White Noise. Guys, it is the December 31st, and this is going to be the last video of this year. But don't worry, tomorrow we're going to do our best and worst list of the year, and then I think on Monday we're going to be back to normal, guys. We're going to be going back full steam on Monday. I may do my most anticipated list as well tomorrow. But we'll have to see. There could be a few more movies that'll get under my list, but I think I've seen the bulk of most movies, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let's see. I got about 21 minutes here that are left in this show because I'm going to be heading out. I'm going to be going to Toronto for the day. This is one of the gifts that I got for Christmas. This is track lighting, and I got to figure out how to put it up. In my little setup here. I got to figure out a way to work it in. Because what it's going to be able to, if you haven't seen track lighting like this before, it changes colors. It can go red, green, yellow, purple, and I can stick it to anywhere back here. I just got to figure out how I'm going to set it up. And then we'll change the studio up a little bit. And plus, I'm working on my Excel sheet so that I can go back to that old score method that I used to pull up with the acting, directing, and stuff. I'm reworking that. I'm going to see if I can try to get it in here on OBS as a green screen effect, so it'll be floating here as we talk about this, as I talk about the acting and directing and pull out the scores and stuff like that. But let's just go over to the Hollywood Reporter and see if there's any big headlines out there that's happening today. It is Saturday, so there wasn't really that much news this week, guys. And I was going to do some content this week of watch-alongs and stuff, but I just kind of like, hey, everybody else is taking the week off. There's really not that much. Wait, what the heck? Barbara Walters is dead? 93. Bummer. She started The View, right? Barbara Walters. Rest in peace. Wow. Who else died today? The Pope. Not the new Pope. The current Pope. The one that was before him, right? Francis? Yeah. Both were in their 90s. Wow. Well, Barbara, you had a good run. And you had a huge impact in the journalism industry, for sure. Especially for females. A lot of females looked up to her work. Okay, what else is jumping out at me here? Hollywood is roaring again. Oh, yeah, it's like... guys, I hope you guys are going to go out and have a nice New Year's festival. I can go to a dance this evening. I think I'm going to come back from Toronto and go to a dance. Maybe try to pick up... try out some of my old moves, you know? Actually, I haven't danced in a long time, so I don't know if I can or not. I don't know how impressive I'll be. George R.R. Martin's some Game of Thrones spin-offs shelved at HBO. Well, they should be, because some of them already were. Like, they already shot a pilot to one of the spin-offs that got completely canned with Naomi Watts. But you know what? We had lots of fun watching House of the Dragon, didn't we? That's going to be one of the better shows of the year for sure, House of the Dragon. So some of them got canned. Don't tell me it's the Jon Snow spinoff. Did the Jon Snow spinoff get axed? Let's just take a look. The original centered other Thrones offshoots in various stages of development include a sequel to the original centered on Jon Snow. Okay, so it sounds like that one is still happening. They didn't identify which possible spin-offs were affected. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if we really need to go back to Jon Snow, though. Do we? As much as I liked... Like, he had a complete arc, I think. Who would I like to go have a spin-off with? Because I think somewhere along the lines, I think House of the Dragon is going to eventually go into the Mad King storyline, right? Like, we're not going to just stick with Rhaenyra and these Targaryens. We're going to move on to generations, right? Different generations. I don't know. And then there's one like there wasn't there going to be one about just the Watch on the North Wall or something? I don't know. Wild cards. Just what that is what it is. Hey guys, it happens. All right, let's go over and take a look at Screen Rant, see what's up there. This is one I'm looking forward to in January here. Anna Kendrick, because I do like Anna Kendrick. An abusive relationship here. Alice Darling, yeah. Oh, Hourglass puts a 20-pound live chat badge in the comment section. Oh, thank you very much, and Happy New Year, Hourglass Vikings. We'll be online tomorrow anyway. Arya Stark needs a spinoff. That would be cool. Yeah, I'd see that. Maisie Williams is not getting that much work. I don't think. I haven't heard anything about her being anything, so why not? You got to milk. Hey, it's kind of like what Babylon said. When your ship comes in, you kind of have to ride that ship all the way down. You kind of want to express or expand yourself as an actor, but sometimes you just get pigeonholed into things, like Maisie Williams as Arya Stark. Like she was in New Mutants. Somebody who's not pigeonholed, though, is Anna Kendrick, and I like her a lot as an actress. And I'm looking forward to this. Reveals how her abusive relationship... Oh, so she had an abusive relationship. That sucks. Damn, I hate that. That pisses me off that somebody is beautiful and is talented. You know, it happens to even to the best of people in the best of circumstances. You just sometimes get into a bad situation. Ah, she doesn't deserve that. She didn't deserve that. Damn. But she used that for fuel, right? She turned lemons into lemonade. And she drew that for inspiration for this role. Yeah, because we've seen the trailers for this Alice Darling, and she goes on a getaway with her girlfriends for a weekend at a cabin or something, right? And then the boyfriend follows her up there and just kind of like stalks her. Yeah, that one looks creepy. Looking forward to 2023 with Mirror Domains. Great year. So happy I subscribed. It's been a blast. It has been a blast here. This has been a good year for sure on the channel. Let's go over and take a look at what Screen Rant has up for us. Rian Johnson is right about Glass Onion's annoying title. Why? Well, I don't call it Glass Onion, a Knives Out tale or whatever it's called. I just call it Glass Onion Knives Out 2. That's not what I call it. I have no problems with it. New Sandman episode scripts get update. Okay, so looks like we weren't gonna. Yeah, we know that we're getting Sandman season 2. Avatar: Way of Water continues staggered upward end of year trend. Well, there's nothing else in the theater to give it any kind of battle for the number one spot. Like we were supposed to have Shazam 2 out at Christmas as well, and that would have put a dent into Avatar's box office because people would have gone out to see it, including myself. I was kind of like, the only reason why I went to see Babylon because there was nothing else in the theater, and I had to have my theater fix. Yeah, Avatar. A lot of people are going to go see it this weekend too because it's a long weekend because of the New Year's. TMNT officially reveals what turtles look like as humans. Don't need to see that. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Okay, Benoit Blanc's husband actor breaks silence. Well, husband actor. You mean Hugh Grant? I thought that was a fun cameo. I did. DC confirms the 6 most powerful Green Lanterns. We don't need to know that. Let's just see what else is here. Yeah, this is people's best and worst list. Rumored Captain Marvel 2 character can finally introduce Silver Surfer. I'm not really looking forward to Captain Marvel 2. Especially since I didn't. This is. Our Glass Viking says, watch Treason with Charlie Cox. Great miniseries. Looking forward to Daredevil Reborn. Yeah, so am I. I'm looking. But Daredevil Reborn is like 22 episodes or something, right? So I don't know if we'll be able to do watch alongs for that. So Treason is worth watching, huh? Might have to check it out. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Nothing really jumps out at me here. Not too much. The MCU's multiverse saga needs to bring back one major Fox X-Men character. And which one is that? Anya Taylor-Joy? I don't know. Furiosa update. It will be the most violent Mad Max movie yet. Really? Cool. It should be. Why not? My Hero Academia, Star Trek 4's history of boldly going where no one's gone before. No. Yeah. All right. I think that's all we got. Film updates. Let's go to film updates. Let's try out the old Twitterverse. Yeah, Treason is only 5 episodes. Really? Might have to check it out then. We might do. I'll have to look at the parent guide for that. It's New Year's Eve. Yes, it is. James Corden almost starred in The Whale when Tom Ford was attached to her. Ooh, no. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm very, very disenchanted with James Corden, especially after that whole restaurant incident. The whole holier than thou. No, man. You gotta, no, not even if you think that you've earned it, you don't behave like that in public. So I don't, and it would never have worked with James Corden. Like, Brendan Fraser knocked it out of the park. It was something about his face structure that just won you over in The Whale. Adam Sandler and Brad Pitt are rumored to be starring in Noah Baumbach's next film for Netflix. So Baumbach, who just did White Noise, is going to have another film for Netflix. Okay. Actually, I heard that Adam Sandler Hustlers movie on Netflix was pretty good. We might have to check that one out. Maybe I'll watch it tonight or something. Michelle Yeoh, Gae-Wah Kwan, Stephanie Hsu, all everything. Yeah. That'll be on the best movies of the year list for sure. I think he'll be on the best supporting actor, right? Colin Farrell wins best actor for Banshees of Inisherin. He'll get a nomination too. I think he will. James Corden was a big little fish in a big pond. He's still liked in the UK as comedy actor, is he? I don't know. I think he's slowly staying his welcome, I think. SSS Rajamouli stars in NTM Ramo Jr.'s. Okay. Well, he directed RRR. Top 10 films of 2022 in alphabetical order. According to film updates, they put Babylon on there? No. Bones and All? No. Well, you guys know how I feel about Bones and All. House of the Dragon was the most pirated show in 2020. Well, that doesn't surprise me, because Game of Thrones was the most pirated show, and when that was on. Reminds me, I need to renew my Crave so that I can get HBO. I just haven't decided between HBO or I haven't decided between Crave or if I'm going to keep on my Prime again. I don't know. I think I'm almost done with Prime. Rian Johnson started writing the next Knives Out movie. Good. Good. I can't wait for it. The Woman King. Yeah, that's something. I hear that if you get past the historical inaccuracies, that it's good. I need to still see The Woman King. Causeway. I want to see Causeway still on my list. Janelle Monáe she was great. She was great in Knives Out too. There she was. All right. So it's just a bunch of award stuff. Greta Gerwig and David Fincher to direct new films and for the service. Okay, well, and that's good. You know what's cool about Greta Gerwig? So she's an actress and she's a director. Let's go and take a look at Greta Gerwig's resume. Because I'm intrigued. I must have seen some of her work. As an actress, Isle of Dogs, Saturday Night Live, Jackie, Wiener Dog. I saw Jackie. I wasn't that impressed with Jackie as a movie. The Humbling, Making a Scene. So she hasn't been in a whole lot of movie stuff as an actress, but as a director, she's directed some stuff. Little Women. Oh, she did that. And Lady Bird. Okay, that was Saoirse Ronan. Right, that's right. Okay, yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Her work there with Barbie. Yeah, she's in Barbie. R&R's getting Oscar nods. Yeah, Arglass also said if Prime released a second season of Carnival Row, I'd renew. Carnival Row. Do I know what that is? Carnival Row. And here's keeping our fingers crossed that they'll renew Peripheral, because that's a series that I really like too. Steampunk, 2 seasons. Cara Delevingne and Orlando Bloom. I don't know anything about this. Hopefully it's not anything nudity here. I don't think it should be. Oh. Fascinating. If it's on Prime, maybe I'll watch the pilot for it. Because I think I've got about 8 days left before I have to decide if I'm going to renew my Prime. Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's about it. That's the way then end the year that it's been for Mirror Domains 2024 or 2023, not 2024. We might as well just end it out here because I'm going to hit the road soon. I'm going to hit the road. It's fantasy. Okay, cool. What do we got here? Got a nice little guitar here. Yeah, it's kind of cool little tune, right? Yeah. Cool, man. How do you like C sharp diminished? I was just jamming around with that this morning too. That's not quite centered. Yeah, C sharp diminished. Because it's such a weird a diminished. I never really used it in any songs. Most people don't use the diminished out of a scale, the chord progressions. But it does resolve into the tonic. That does kind of work. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to be hitting the road here in about half an hour, so I got to get ready. I know that it was kind of like unannounced that I was going to do a show today, but I just kind of like, I sat on Babylon all last night, and I really wanted to make sure that I got out and said something about it. I'll fix the thumbnail for it later on, but if not, go out and have some fun today. Enjoy your New Year's Eve parties. Have one for me, guys, for sure. And I'll post some pictures on the social medias of my little trip here to Toronto. Yeah, there you go. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow, next year, on Mirror Domains.